What's up, people? Alright, this is Assassin's Creed Unity, Sequence 12, the last sequence. It's got 3 chapters, and I don't know how long this is going to take. Typically, the last chapter is the longest, and it closes up a lot of things. So, I don't know if this will be the last post, but it'll at least be the second to last. So, here we go. This is Sequence 12.
We're almost home.
And I will say, giving an overall review, it starts out pretty
Things have changed a
hinky.
great deal since you left Paris.
A great deal to be set right.
And we're no closer to finding Germain.
That's not entirely true. I have a name.
Who?
Robespierre.
I don't want to talk through the dialogue. So yeah, my overall review is like, it starts out really hinky, and they don't explain the changes in the game very well. But once you get past that and figure out what you're doing, I actually think it's a very enjoyable game.
Ma parole.
And I kind of take back some of the things I started saying about it. It's very cool. It really is. Now I might do a couple of things at the beginning here. In terms of upgrading and getting my money.
What's all this?
Robespierre. He's declared today a festival of the Supreme Being. A paean to the virtue of the nation and the citizen's duty toward it.
Why does that sound familiar?
As far as Templar doctrine goes, it's a loose interpretation.
We'll never get close to him in the middle of all this. We'd best retire and wait for a better opportunity.
Still thinking like an assassin. This time, I have the plan.
Oh? And what would that be?
Think like a Templar.
Amazing!
Thought we were supposed to be rationalists now.
What's he Vive Robespierre!
That's lovely.
The Supreme Being ain't called for Robespierre. I'll eat my hat.
What is he thinking? Ridiculous pomp and circumstance.
What now?
Robespierre is unassailable. He's got half the guard out in force. We'll never get within 10 yards of him.
Just what I said.
But he's not as popular as he was. The Purgers, the Supreme Being cult. If we can discredit him, he's finished.
Massive public spectacle is the perfect venue.
Exactly. Paint him as a dangerous lunatic and his power will evaporate like snow in April. But we'll need some convincing evidence.
I have an idea where to start. You coming?
Meet me after. I have my own arrangements to make.
Vous allez le payer de votre vie!
Écrasez-les! Faites-en de la bouillie!
Une vraie nuée de moineaux.
You can't shake the law, bastard!
Damn. Not one of my reverses is going through. Well, this is just not going well. Goodness. Alright. It's time to fucking...
You best!
What the fuck? I dropped the smoke bomb.
Justice like... Kill you! Ah, that's supper!
I probably just hit the smoke bomb too. Alright, man. This is getting...
Damn it! What the hell's going on?
I didn't like that. For some reason, none of my counters were going through. Like, I was hitting that counter button like a son of a bitch, too. So that just wasted all my health, I think. All my smoke bombs.
The eternally happy
No, I got plenty of health.
consecrate to the Supreme Being has finally arrived. Never has the world he created offered him
I got one smoke bomb.
Trouble. Damn it. Someone's killed David. Odd. Yeah.
These guys are a real pain in the ass.
Got ya. So,
I'm not liking that. This is the one thing I fucking hated about, like, sequences 4 and 5. When you're just outpowered. And for some reason, I guess it's the guards are like...
the eternally happy day which the French people consecrate to the Supreme Being.
Check this one.
where's the corpses done this?
I didn't.
Well, that doesn't seem to fucking work. God damn. I just don't have the resources to do this, man. I'm gonna have to reevaluate. See, that was one thing the other game's done a lot better than this shit. If you are stuck in a situation where you're swarmed, you can use talent to get the fuck out of it. You can't do that here.
Has finally arrived. Never has the world he created offered him a sight of his own. He has seen tyranny, crime, and deception reign on earth. At this moment,
God damn it, are you fucking serious?
Something's not right.
and bow to the great being who gave
These guys hit you no matter what. There's nothing you can do about that. This is fucking gonna be nuts. This is not gonna be fun at all. I can't do anything until I get to that fucking bell. I can't get to that fucking bell without going through 100 fucking guards. That's why I keep running for the bell, because, quite frankly, if I don't get that shit taken care of, I'm not going to be doing much.
the eternally happy day.
Let's try something different here.
I'll bring you down to this.
See, this is another problem I have. It's so jerky sometimes. I don't like the fact that this game sets it up like this. I think it was a very bad idea, and I think it takes away from the gameplay that has been established in the first 6 games. I mean, overall, I really liked this. I've really enjoyed it, but this is the when it gets this frustrating, I don't like it. And this is just fucking frustrating. Your skill does not mean shit in an area like this. And that sucks.
Dance it away! I only want to take your
I'm trying to figure out a way to get to that bell before any of these guys attack. And that's not an easy one, honestly.
soit ses ennuis, soit...
Are you serious?
Any advantage, press hard together.
No! You're mine, you bastard!
I dirais shiny. Is it? Huh? So slow. Get to rights.
No, damn it! Where's the killer? What happened?
Oui, c'est un moyen quand même.
Bad. What there? I'll avenge you, my friend. Rip you to shreds, I will!
Faut prévenir Villiers et les fossoyeurs. Peut-être qu'ils sont heureux à l'intérieur.
Stand and fight! Be a man!
Awesome when you can fucking not. After all that, I still can't fucking do anything. Alright, maybe I can do it without fighting them. I really don't see that because they're all over the fucking place, but... This is fucking ridiculous here. I don't like this at all.
The eternally happy day. Never. so worthy of his art. He has seen tyranny.
Come back here! I'll turn you into horse and down!
Let's see. Incriminating evidence. Incriminating evidence. A letter.
Monsieur Robespierre.
That's no help at all. Looks like a diary.
At exactly 5 in the morning.
Not quite what I'm looking for.
Monsieur.
Interesting, but not particularly helpful.
Publiciste de la Révolution.
Not quite what I'm looking for.
Never has the world offered him a sight so worthy of his art. He has seen tyranny, reign on earth. At this moment, he sees an entire
Merlin, Tallien, Bourdon. These are all deputies of the National Convention.
in order to raise its thoughts and vows to the great
Lists of political figures written in the hand of a man fond of sending his rivals to the guillotine. Yes, these should do nicely.
in the heart of man, the code of justice and equality, right there, the death sentence of tyrants. Did not his voice at the very beginning betray the republic, making liberty?
Okay. There's always a way to get around it.
The eternally happy day which the French supreme being has finally arrived. Never has the world he created offered him sight so worthy of his art. He has seen tyranny, crime, and deception reign. At this moment, he sees an entire nation at war with all the oppressors of the human race.
Well,
A list of names. 50 or so deputies of the National Convention, all written in Robespierre's hand and all opposed to him.
I imagine those good gentlemen would be quite interested to know they're on that list. First, Monsieur Robespierre brought his own refreshments. Strike the guards, I have an idea.
Distract the guards. Right.
Armed in turn with the daggers of fanaticism and the poison of atheism, they can no more tear the world from us. Yes, armed in turn with the daggers of fanaticism and the poisons of atheism. They can no more. In turn, with the daggers of fanaticism and the poisons of atheism. People fear no more their sacrilegious conspiracies. That would be the place. People fear no more their sacrilegious conspiracies.
Monsieur Robespierre brought his own refreshments. Strike the guards, I have an idea.
Distract the guards. Right.
It is wisdom, bravo, that our guilty enemies want to drive from the Republic. We must be generous, the good, compassionate toward the unfortunate, and next. Generous, compassionate toward the unfortunate.
Not allowed to be.
We must be.
It would be one thing to fucking
Compassionate.
any of these guys.
We must be generous toward the good. And inexorable the wicked.
These fucking gunshots are ridiculous.
Let us not count on unalloyed prosperity. Triumph in our obstacles, or
I am not getting anywhere with any of these guys. I'm not even hitting them. I'm just getting shot up is all I'm doing. Well, that was pointless.
But atheism, they can no more tear the world.
That was literally pointless. I'm swinging my ass off and not doing any damage and just getting shot up. I don't like shit like this, man. It's one thing if they make it something you can do if you have skill. They're just making this,
the daggers,
like I said before, difficult for the sake of being fucking difficult.
Poison.
There's no strategy to it.
They can no more tear the
You're just gonna get your ass handed to you. I don't like shit like this.
With the daggers of fanaticism and the poisons of atheism.
Something's not right.
Tear the world.
Oh my god. Well, that worked out great.
In turn, with the daggers of fanaticism and the poisons of atheism.
So there's two shots there that I absolutely had nothing I could do about. And that went right through him.
People fear no more their sacrilegious
I don't know if anybody caught that, but like, this is the shit that I don't like even playing games like this. I don't. This is what I got frustrated with in Sequence 4 and 5. At least then it was a gear thing, but now it's just gameplay. And I don't like this kind of shit. I fucking hate it.
Armed in turn with the daggers of fanaticism and the poison of atheism. They can no more tear the world from... Yes. Armed in turn with the daggers of fanaticism and the poisons of atheism. They can no more tear the world from... Armed in turn with the daggers of fanaticism and the poisons of atheism.
fucking slack. Like 0. Okay, I can get around the first guy, but clearly I'm not going to get around the second. Like, really? What the fuck is the point? I fucking hate when games are just difficult for the sake of being difficult. That's all this is.
They can no more tear the world from... Armed with the daggers of fanaticism and the poisons of atheism, they can no more tear the world from...
God damn it.
In turn, with the daggers of fanaticism and the poisons of atheism. People fear no more their sacrilegious conspiracy.
You're not allowed to be.
People fear no more their sacrilegious conspiracy. They can no more tear the world from... People fear no more their sacrilegious conspiracy. It is wisdom, above all, that our guilty enemies want to drive from the Republic.
How did I get? Causes hallucinations. This will make him look mad. Now we have to make him look dangerous.
The list of names.
It must fall into the right hands, anonymously. If our involvement gets out, it'll tip Germain off.
Leave that part to me.
Stop right there! You're trying to muscle it about your name! You horse son!
Robespierre nuts on about freedom and mercy, while thousands go to the guillotine. Don't you realize to see this?
Intimidation, eh? Suicidal snuffer!
Banish him from the earth to reign alone with pride. They can no more tear the world from the breast of its author than the remorse from their own hearts. You who are rich, hold up your woeful heads. You can again raise your eyes to the sky with impunity. Heroes, your generous devotion is not a brilliant folly. The minions of tyranny may be able to assassinate you, but it is not in their power to annihilate you completely. Man, whoever you are, you can again think well. You can attach your transitory life to God Himself and to immortality. Let nature thus regain all its magnificence and wisdom all its empire. The Supreme Being is not
Conduct
destroyed.
unbecoming me. Who the hell
Let
does
nature
Robespierre
thus
think he is?
regain all its magnificence and
What is it,
wisdom
sir?
all its empire. The Supreme Being is not destroyed. Let us depend only on our constancy and our Let us be generous toward those who are good, compassionate toward the unfortunate, inexorable toward the wicked, just toward everyone. Let us be ardent and obstinate in our anger against sworn tyrants, imperturbable in the heat of danger, patient in our work, terrible during setbacks, modest and vigilant in success. Let us be serious and discreet in all our deliberations, as men who determine the interests of the whole world. Again, think well of this. People, fear no more their sacrilegious conspiracy. They can no more tear the world from the breast of its author than the remorse from their own hearts. You who are wretched, hold up your woeful heads. You can again raise your eyes to the sky with impunity.
Cessez de jouer des coudes.
Let us not count on
Look at that strutting popinjay. Cult of the Supreme Being indeed. And if they do, Robespierre is God. But he's not God, no matter what he does. He can't touch me.
You can again raise your eyes to the sky with impunity.
A change has come.
Let us be generous toward those who are good. Compassionate toward the unfortunate. Toward the wicked. Just toward everyone. Let nature reign all its magnificence, and wisdom all its empire. The Supreme Being is not destroyed.
Shit.
That should set things in motion.
It is wisdom, above all, that our guilty enemies want to drive from the Republic. To wisdom alone does it belong to consolidate the prosperity of empire.
Being a list of enemies of the revolution. 500 names here.
Robespierre's gone too far this time.
That set the fox in the hen house.
Pity the hens. Now what?
We wait. It won't take long. Once Robespierre has lost the support of the people, he'll be no more use to Germain. When Germain abandons him...
He's vulnerable. Let's go.
Alright, well. I got through it, but that was not my favorite mission. It's funny, I was reading some reviews about the game, and people are talking about how this is a series they both love and hate in equal measure. Mainly because they have a lot of very cool things, but everything is always rushed, and they do certain missions that are just boring and like irritating, and then other ones are just, I don't know, man, they're not the greatest. I'm gonna go ahead and pause here, and I will set up the next two sequence chapters, and that'll probably be the end of it. So I'll talk to you on the flip side.